you may have noticed that Andrew Cuomo is completely falling apart. So there was a bit of odd juxtaposition yesterday. So Andrew Cuomo, over the last couple of days, was awarded an Emmy. He was given a television Emmy for his massively incredible performance during the COVID pandemic, which has ended with the second highest deaths per million ratio in America and currently the highest hospitalization rate in the nation, after he wrote a book about his amazing leadership. A bunch of Hollywood celebrities stopped by to talk about this, because when we're talking about health, the people who know the most are obviously celebrities. So here is Spike Lee and Ben Stiller and the rest of the crowd praising Andrew Cuomo.
To my governor, the governor of Empire State, Andrew Cuomo.
Congratulations, Andrew, on your much-deserved Founders Award.
Governor Andrew Cuomo, you are the man. What?
I was trying to think of something that I could say to you that would be funny, and so I called your brother Chris, who could not understand why you were getting an Emmy since he's the one on television.
In the darkest stage of the pandemic,
Billy Crystal,
your daily briefings live from New York gave us hope, gave us clarity, gave us the truth, and gave us something that we were not getting from Washington: leadership.
Oh, okay. So it's good. All the celebrities came out, and that same week, like within 48 hours, it turns out that Andrew Cuomo not only was lying about how many COVID patients had died in nursing homes, but that he was covering it up, and he was lying to his fellow Democrats. And then he did it in one of his trademark press conferences, like these Emmy award-winning press conferences, right? He did one yesterday in which he just lied blatantly. But he was very clear about lying. So, I mean, I guess there's that. So here's Andrew Cuomo talking about how honest he was while he was lying.
To be clear, all the deaths in the nursing homes and in the hospitals were always fully, publicly, and accurately reported. The numbers were the numbers, always. People did request information beyond the place of death, not just how many in a nursing home, not just how many in a hospital.
Okay, so we were always honest except for the fact that we were lying. And by the way, everybody on the right knew he was lying since May. Everybody. This was well reported for, well, now about, 7, 8 months? Minimum? 9 months? And now the media are getting around to reporting all of this. My favorite part of this press conference is where Andrew Cuomo says that he accepts responsibility for letting people think he did anything wrong, which is like the best apology ever. Here's Andrew Cuomo. Man, this guy, he is such a jerk. And you guys propped him up as a hero. Let it be known. For months and months and months, he was the hero. DeSantis was the villain. DeSantis actually ran his state correctly. Cuomo's run his state like a garbage heap. Here is Cuomo. Man, this guy, the balls on this guy, it's pretty incredible.
You'd never knock down all these conspiracy theories, the political conspiracy theories, because they generate 10 a day. But we should have done a better job of providing as much information as we could, as quickly as we could. And we should have done a better job on that. Yes. And no excuses. I accept responsibility for that.
I accept responsibility for letting people think I did anything wrong. Whoops. What an incredible dude. By the way, he then went on and he said deaths in nursing homes were inevitable. Inevitable. Right? I mean, this guy who praised himself for his leadership, he's like, yep, I let the olds die, and you know what? It was going to happen anyway, so whatever, man. I got an Emmy.
COVID did not get into the nursing homes by people coming from hospitals. COVID got into the nursing homes by staff walking into the nursing home when we didn't even know we had COVID. Staff walking into a nursing home even though they were asymptomatic, because the national experts all told us you could only spread COVID if you had symptoms. And they were wrong.
Okay, so there's only one problem with this. It's possible that COVID was present in those facilities earlier. Also, you know the way that you get rid of COVID? By not having the patients be in contact with other olds in the nursing homes. And then, of course, and Andrew Cuomo suggested that if those old people were going to die, they were just going to die anyway. You know, that's just the way it was going to work.
The truth is, it was in the middle of a terrible pandemic. The truth is, COVID attacks senior citizens. The truth is, with all we know, people still die in nursing homes today. People still die every day. We're testing the staff twice a week. There's no visitation. People still die.
Okay, yes, how many would be the question. People still die is not... God, you guys made that. You guys made this human being into your hero. That was you. Okay, so here's the thing. As all this unspools, Biden's crappy economic policy, his crappy COVID policy, his crappy racial policy, as Andrew Cuomo falls apart, the media are focused in on what matters most, Donald Trump. And they're not going to let Donald Trump go away. They just won't. Now, Trump probably doesn't want to go away, but here's the reality of the situation. Donald Trump is no longer president. He will not be relevant to the political conversation for at least another couple of years if he decides to launch another campaign, which frankly, I don't think he's going to do, because if I were him, I'd be incredibly tired of this, wouldn't you? So Trump is not the relevant political figure at this point. Where are the Democrats putting their chief focus? They're putting their chief focus exactly where you would think they're putting their chief focus, directly on Donald Trump. So they're going to continue to drag this out. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is now pushing for the creation of a special panel to investigate the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, a day after several lawmakers called for a bipartisan commission and report similar to the one drafted in response to the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. Pelosi said, "Now, as always, security is the order of the day. The security of our country, the security of our Capitol, which is the temple of our democracy, the security of our members. To protect our security, our security, our security. Our next step will be to establish an outside, independent 9/11 type commission to investigate and report on the facts and causes relating to the January 6th, 2021 domestic terrorist attack on the U.S. Capitol complex." Okay, what do you think this is? What do you think? Like, here's the thing. I have an idea. Let's say that you wanted to do a full investigation of what happened on January 6th and call witnesses and everything. You could have done that, and then maybe after that, you could have had like an impeachment charge, because apparently you can now bring impeachment after the person's out of office. And you could have done that, or you could even have done that investigation between the House impeachment charge and the Senate vote. But you didn't do any of that stuff. You rushed it forward for political purposes, and then you got it off the table for political purposes, and now you just want to keep this hanging around for political purposes for years on end, so you can keep pretending that Donald Trump is the most relevant person to the political conversation. You're seeing this in the media today, by the way. Well, this is still Trump's party. It's Trump's party. Okay, here's the deal. The party is always the party of the prior president until precisely the moment it isn't. That is the way that politics works. The Democratic Party was the party of Barack Obama until it was the party of Hillary Clinton in 2016, until it was the party of Joe Biden now. The Republican Party was the party of George W. Bush until it was the party of Mitt Romney, until it was the party of Donald Trump. This is the way presidential politics works. There are a lot of people today being like, well, it's a Trump cult because you see all these people who are condemning Republicans for voting against Trump in this impeachment trial. No, Trump is just taken as a litmus for Republican solidarity. It's that simple. When you ask Republicans about how they feel about Trump, even those who are pretty uncomfortable with a lot of stuff that Trump did, even many of those people are not like, you know what? I think what would be great for the party is to completely divide it down the middle on the question of Trump because he's out of office. Sounds like a great plan. Here's the reality. Democrats need the looming specter of Trump in order to justify all of the radicalism they are now pursuing, in order to justify the fact they are bad at their jobs and they are pursuing radical policy. And again, the media are addicted to this stuff because the media's ratings go down when they don't talk about Trump. If they talked about Joe Biden's budget or how Joe Biden likes to toss a log on the fire and that was all they were covering, you think anybody would click on Politico? You think anybody would watch MSNBC? Obviously not. Obviously not. So the Democrats are going to continue to push this stuff forward. And not just that, they're going to push forward more radical policy on the basis of Trump. You have a Democratic representative named Jacobs, and she came out and she said, you know what we need? We need a truth commission. Yes, a truth and reconciliation commission like South Africa. This is what she told the most reliable of reliable sources, Brian Stelter. We need a truth and reconciliation commission in the United States, which is the most Orwellian garbage I've heard in at least 37 seconds. So here she is, Representative Sarah Jacobs from California, calling for a truth commission.
A truth commission, a lot of people will think of South Africa. We've used them in countries around the world. And basically what it is it's communities all the way up to the national level having conversations about both the gory and the glory of our history and what happened, both throughout the history of our country and leading up to and on January 6th, so that we can come to a common narrative moving forward of what we want our country to be.
Yeah, this is all great. This is all great. And all they have to do, the Democrats, is just keep shouting Trump, because Orange Man will remain bad, and he will remain the focus and the locus of the entire Democratic universe until such time as he is no longer convenient for those purposes. Meanwhile, while you and the media are distracted out here with Trump, with this other hand, that is where they are pursuing their radical policy making, which again is going to make the country worse in a wide variety of ways, but the media have no interest in that. The misdirection is at hand. The Democrats are engaging in it every single day. Do not follow the bouncing ball. Follow instead the actual activity that is taking place in the halls of government. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Ben Shapiro Show. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all of our future content.